What's going on, buddy? Saluda here, and today we are back with another video. And today we are looking at the patch 268 PTR, and we are going to be looking at everything there is in this article here. So we're going to look at the season theme, the new class changes, the new class sets, and everything that we're going to be having in season 20. So let's get into it, shall we? So to start off with, the PTR begins on February the 6th, and we are of course going to jump straight away onto that. So make sure to tune in for all the videos. We're going to be covering all the builds on this date here. You can also check out the live stream where we will be doing live testing, so make sure to tune in for that. Now, as I say here in the PTR goals, the Barbarian, Wizard, and Wizards are the heavily tested builds because they're getting new items and new sets. So those are the ones that we're going to be looking at the most. Now, there's a few general things to start off with. First of all, infernal machines and organs are now subject to vacuum pickup. This is a fine quality of life improvement. Doesn't really help them that much. I would prefer getting Death Breath pickup, but this, it's a good start, right? Now, this one here, crafting plans from bounty caches are now guaranteed to drop unless all plans have been learned. This is really, really good. This will always help you in terms of getting the really difficult ones. For instance, the Captain Crimson set is a very important one and can usually be quite annoying to get. So this would definitely help getting it even quicker in the upcoming seasons. Now for season 20, we are getting a new season theme. We are getting the season of Forbidden Archives. It says here, for the duration of season 20, all slots in Kanai's cube will be able to select legendary powers from weapon, armor, and jewelry. This basically means that you can swap between what you want in terms of you could have 3 different weapon cubes, you could have 3 different armor, 3 different jewelry, or you could mix between what you want, so like 2 weapons and 1 jewelry slot. It's pretty much up to you in terms of what you want to pick here. Now, I could definitely see some big things going on here. There could be some very, very big powers. I first know on my Wind Barbarian, the armor slot, you would wear something like a Mantle of Channeling. You could definitely go for something else there, like a Furnace. That would boost you a lot more than what a Mantle of Channeling could do. So there's definitely a lot of options here in terms of just getting a lot more power than we're used to seeing. This could also open up for more builds, so I'm very interested to see what we can use this for in terms of making new builds and making builds even stronger than before. Now we have a little developer's note here. They say that they are outlining this because they want to get a bit creative and maybe a little bit crazy with the season themes, and this definitely falls in that category. It could be very, very overpowered to some builds doing this. We will have to see and wait. If you have a build you think that might be extremely powerful using this, let me know in the comments down below, just so we can test it out as well, Now here in terms of the classes, we have the Crusader here. So the animation for the Fires of Heaven rune can no longer be cancelled early, meaning you can't start a step. Basically what people would do, that they would do animation cancelling, where you could basically remove the entire animation of this effect, which means that you would attack double or triple times the attack space before, increasing your damage by a lot. This is one of the things that they want to, I guess, rework, since the Crusader is quite a bit stronger than what they wanted to be in terms of the 130, in terms of how they want everything to be. So everyone wants to be at 130 GR solo. This will definitely help bring down the Crusader. Now, it might bring it down too much. We will have to wait and see. I'm not personally a big fan of removing this. In my opinion, this added quite a bit of extra skill to the build and added something a bit more fun. Something you could min-max, something you could practice. This kind of removes another thing of how you play the build, which I'm not the biggest fan of. If it makes the build more competitive and brings it down a notch so it's competitive with others, then maybe that's a good thing, right? Now we're getting some new items, and the developer noticed there's some very, very long requested skills and playstyle, and those are the ones they targeted specifically. So the 3 different spells we're looking at is Frenzy for the Barbarian, Spirit Botch for the Witch Doctor, and Hydra for the Wizard. So let's see what kind of builds they make for this. Now, quick side note, they have changed Mantle of Channeling a little bit. The bonus granted by this item now occurs 1 second after channeling has begun. Now for the fun part, for the Barbarian, they are introducing an entire new set, and it is the Frenzy set. So the 2-piece. Double the effectiveness of all shouts, and feared enemies take double damage. Now this could be a lot of fun. So first of all, this makes an entire array of builds possible, right? Double the effect of shouts. This could be a very, very good build for a C-Bob, a double ignore pain, stuff like that. But it also ties into the build itself, right? You could maybe even play with Ignore Pain and have 100% uptime using this build, just with this bonus here. And also says feared enemy takes double damage. Now the 4-piece, each stack of Frenzy reduces damage taken by 5%. And as you might know, with the new item, we can now stack Frenzy up to 10 times. So we have our 50% damage reduction, flat damage reduction, very, very standard. So yeah, good damage reduction. Looks like a very, very strong build already in terms of the toughness from having the shouts, and also then the frenziness giving us a lot of damage reduction. And of course, the 6-piece. Frenzy deals 1000% increased damage per stack, and we of course have 10 stacks, so 10,000% multiplier. Very, very strong. We're also getting a rework to the build called Undisputed Champion. It not just gave us all the runes of Frenzy, it now also increased the damage by 300 to 400%. Very, very strong. Looks like we're getting a lot of multipliers. This is very similar to a Lamentation build, so I'm very happy about this. And of course, the main weapon is gonna be the Bastion's Wizard. Normally, we would just have that Frenzy now stacks up to 10 times. They have now added a secondary effect to it. And the second effect reads, it hits an additional time per attack, and each additional hit will chain to nearby enemies within 15 yards, and the damage is split between all affected enemies. This basically means that you go from a Frenzy being a very single target, and you kill one target at a time, very, very strong, but takes a lot of time to get through things. You can't really clear rifts. This here now changes the build so you can actually clear stuff. You actually get a lot of AoE, and it wouldn't surprise me if you see people stacking a lot of area damage, and this could very, very easily become a very strong clearer. This build definitely has a lot of potential, and I'm very, very excited to see what we can do with this build and how high we can push it. Now for the Witch Doctor, we are also getting a new class set. Now, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this name, but you can see it right here. We're just going to call it Regalia for now. But basically, the 2-piece Big Bad Voodoo now follows you and lasts twice as long. This is going to help you a lot in terms of damage and everything. So that's pretty good. Our 4-piece here is a 50% damage reduction when into Spirit Realm. So basically a flat 50% damage reduction that we're very used to from all the other sets. The 6-piece set reads, Spirit Barrage deals increased damage equal to 50 times your mana regeneration per second. Now there's gonna be some very, very interesting builds using this kind of mana regeneration, because if you can get a lot of mana regeneration up, you can definitely pump out some really big Spirit Barrage damage. They're also changing the weapon called the Barber. It reads, instead of dealing direct damage, your Spirit Barrage now accumulates on the target. When you stop casting, it explodes, dealing X amount of damage. Now this used to be about 250. It will now go from 400 to 500%. So about a double amount of damage. So that's going to help a lot in terms of how much damage this build has. They're also reworking the Gazing Demise offhand, which used to work so Spirit Barrage gains the Phantasm rune, and each active Phantasm now lasts twice as long, increases damage of Spirit Barrage by 3 times as much, and also increases the attack speed from Minority Spectres. And they have also changed it so it now always rolls with critical hit chance instead of life per second. Now the Witch Doctor is probably one of my least played characters so far in Diablo 3, but I'm very, very excited to try this build out, and I'm gonna give it a really good shot in terms of how this works. So far it looks really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to see how we can make this work and what we can do with it. Now I'm not gonna lie, this next one is making me really, really excited to play this. So basically it's a wizard build, and it's a Hydra build. I love Hydras. I used to play it so much back in the day, and they have now reworked it. So let's look at it, shall we? So the 2-piece, double the duration of Hydras and increase the number of heads on multi-headed Hydras by 2. So you get even more Hydras. Who wouldn't love that? The 4-piece, damage taken is reduced by 8% for each Hydra head alive, as long as there's one available. So probably around a 50 to 60% damage reduction at all times if you have your Hydras up. So that's pretty standard in terms of damage reduction. And for the 6-piece, Hydras deal 1000% increased damage for each Hydra head alive. So again, a big damage multiplier to Hydras, and I'm honestly very excited for this. They're also reworking the Serpent Sparker wand. So you may have one extra Hydra active at a time, and they then added a 450 to 600% damage multiplier on top of it. So that is definitely going to be the weapon of choice, and it looks very, very good so far. They have also reworked the Magistrate item, the helmet. They have now made it so all Hydras now permanently cast Frost Nova, and you deal 450 to 600% increased damage. So again, a big damage multiplier on top of it. They have also changed Its Sigil and Dead Wish so that they now also first get their increased damage after 1 second after channeling. Now those are the changes for upcoming PTR, and we are of course getting the PTR on February 6th. And I'm very excited for this. Make sure to stick around on the channel for even more PTR videos. We're gonna be testing all these builds. We're gonna be doing lots of stuff with it. So make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on these videos. Now, what are your thoughts about this so far? What kind of builds are you interested in? I'm personally very excited about the wizard build. That has got me very happy, and the other two also look very good so far. But let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I'm very excited. But that is it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, folks.